Artists and creatives, you have the power to heal, transform, and elevate lives. Are you ready to step into that power? Hello, and welcome to Superfan Attraction. I am your host, Diane Foy, and today is part 3 of my Superfan Attraction method, Media Spotlight. And this is what I'm mostly known for, is being an arts and entertainment publicist. And today I'm going to explore phase 3 of the Superfan Attraction method, Media Spotlight, and let you know the steps that go into securing media coverage for your projects. So I was an arts and entertainment publicist for 16 years, mostly working with musicians, music industry, actors, films, and some artists, fine artists as well, art galleries and things like that. And I loved it. And through the years, media has evolved. And it's harder and harder to get media attention now, especially for entertainment, arts and entertainment. There's, most arts and entertainment sections in the newspapers are gone, at least in Canada, gone. And media is looking for stories that can be syndicated. So the biggest stars get that spot. There is a lot of alternative media for sure, but there's also tons more competition for those podcasts and YouTube shows and blogs and alternate sources. So you still need to have a consistent personal brand and be creating purpose-driven content on social media and have a social media following in order to be successful in publicity marketing. I created the Superfan Attraction method with the 3 phases I will keep repeating, personal branding is the most important phase, and it is the foundation that everything else is built on. So too many artists were coming to me as a publicist saying, I got a new project, I need a publicist. But you definitely need a consistent personal brand and social media following to secure media these days. So these are the steps that you need to take in order to secure publicity. So first you want to gather your PR assets. And that's your electronic press kit. These days it's all online. So you want to have a central place. And you want to have a bio, a short bio. I always say to have about 3 different versions of your bio in different lengths. You want, yes, a long form bio that tells everything, which is still under a page, and ideally 3 or 4 paragraphs tops. Then you want a shorter bio that's maybe 2 paragraphs, and then one that's just 1 paragraph. Because if you're sending the full bio to media, and maybe they only have space for 1 paragraph, if you were able to provide that 1 paragraph bio, they'll probably just run with it instead of trying to take your long bio and summarize it into a paragraph. They might pick parts of your bio that you weren't really wanting to be the center. So it's important to have the different lengths. If you're going to be on a podcast, for them to introduce you, they just want like a short paragraph to introduce you. But if you don't provide that, again, these are the things that make you stand out, and you're more likely to get booked. And if you provide this bio, provide high-res photos, so a variety of photos, could be headshots or 3/4 and different looks. So make sure you have high-res versions and low-res versions available for download. If you're a musician, you want to have links to your videos. If you're an actor, you want to be having your acting real, whatever it is that showcases what it is that you'll be offering on these media outlets. Maybe it's previous interviews you've done. You can link to those, previous press reviews, and also links to all your social accounts. Now, who are you going to send this press kit to? You first have to build a media list. So what are the outlets that are most likely to cover you? Where are your peers getting press coverage? For a lot of coaches and experts, podcasts is the way to go, because podcasts are looking for your expertise. If you're a musician, if you're a certain genre of musician, well, who's covering that? Is there certain music blogs, music shows, TV shows, your local media? Who are the media outlets that you'll be targeting? You want to build a media list, do your research, research the outlet, but also research the writers, the producers, the host, the editors, whoever it is that it's their decision to choose who goes on the show or who gets interviewed, who gets covered, who gets featured. And you want to find the contact info, website, socials, all that, and create your database. And then you have to perfect your pitch. What it is that you're wanting them to cover. And ideally, you want to pitch a story and why their audience would be interested in it. So you don't want to just be like, here, this is all the information about my new project. Well, who cares? So why should that media outlet cover you? If you're an actor in a big project, and if you're going to Toronto International Film Festival, it's a lot of competition to get media coverage. And if you're like the supporting actor in that movie, the major outlets are going for the big stars. So think out of the box. Who else would be interested in covering you? Maybe it's media from your hometown. Maybe it's media that are more, maybe it's blogs, maybe it's smaller media outlets that maybe can't get those big stars, Research the writers. Does that music writer even cover your style of music? You have to get to know who in that media outlet is going to be the one that would champion you. And then there's the art of the follow-up, because we all know we get a million emails and it's very easy to miss one. Or you see it, you mean to get back to it, but you forget about it as it quickly gets lost in your inbox. So you want to make sure you follow up. So if you email a media outlet with your pitch of what your story is, what your angle is, why their audience would be interested in this story, then you want to wait a week or so and follow up. And ideally have some new information. So when you follow up, maybe add a little bit more information or something new that happened. I say, you want to follow up maybe twice. If after the third time, no response, then that is your response. No response is a no. Maybe 6 months or later or a year later, you have a new story, a new angle. Definitely pitch again. Sometimes it takes a while to get on someone's radar. And you want to master the interview. So start out with those smaller outlets, because you have to develop your stories as well. And you don't want your first interview to be a major outlet. You want to start with lesser known podcasts or lesser known outlets where you can be interviewed, but there's less pressure. And always listen back to your interviews and evaluate where you could tighten up a story, or, oh, you forgot to mention such and such. And this is how you learn to be a great interview subject. And then once you get media coverage, no matter what it is, always leverage the media by thanking them, by promoting it. That was a pet peeve of a lot of media outlets, when they would go through the effort of interviewing someone, writing an article, posting it online or in the print edition, and then the subject doesn't even acknowledge it. So if an outlet is promoting you, promote that outlet. And it gives you content to share on social media. So post about that podcast you did, post about that article you got, or even if it's a small mention, find that writer or reporter on social media and thank them and promote the coverage that you got. And the more media coverage you get, the more that builds your profile. It builds your reputation. And one last thing to think about is building your team. At the beginning of this, I mentioned you don't want to just rush out, hire a publicist, a marketing agency, and a radio promoter, all these different things until you're ready. If you've gone through the Superfan Attraction method with me, and we coach you on personal branding, content creation, media, then at this point, maybe you do want to hire a publicist to get you in those outlets that are maybe out of reach for you. Maybe you do want to hire a social media manager to help you stay consistent. Maybe you do want to hire a virtual assistant to keep you on track. So that is phase 3 of the Superfan Attraction method, Media Spotlight. And I've created the free Superfan Attraction playbook and training that you can sign up for at dianefoy.com/freebie. It's the playbook that goes through the 3 phases and a mini course training that spotlights a few of the personal branding parts with exercises. And if you would like support on any of these topics in the playbook, I invite you to come on the show. And you can get a free coaching session one-on-one with me, and we'll talk about one of these topics. And if there's something you want a little bit more support on, you can go to dianefoy.com/volunteer. I'm so happy to be your mentor and guide on your journey. Till next time. Thanks for watching Superfan Attraction. If you enjoyed this episode and all that you're learning, be sure to subscribe to the channel. To connect with me, I'm Diane Foy Arts on all socials and in the Superfan Attraction group on Facebook.